the recording. Okay. So, when we talk about verbs followed by either ing or infinitive with to, we are talking about two verbs, one after another. And the verb that decides whether the form will be ing or infinitive with to is the first verb. This is, as I was telling you, a question more of vocabulary that you need to learn rather than grammar rules. So, in the first bullet point, we have some very classic examples that maybe you've learned in B1. Structures like can't bear, that means no aguanto, can't bear. Hate, like, love, prefer. They can be followed by either verb ending in ing or verb with to, infinitive. Like to, followed by infinitive, usually refers to habitual preferences, something that is quite general. We like to go out to lunch on Sunday. This is what we generally like to do. Not like to means I think it's wrong to. I don't like to disturb colleagues at home. That is, I think it's not correct to disturb colleagues at home. So, if can't bear, hate, like, love, prefer is followed by to plus verb, we refer to usually, generally, what's happening. Our preferences in general.
Usually.
Now, with attempt, begin, continue, intend, plan, propose, and start, there's no difference in meaning whether we use verb in gerund or a long infinitive after them. Let's see. Attempt means to try. Hacer un intento, intentar, attempt.
Intentar.
Intend means have the intention to. Tener pensado, no intentar. Plan, propose, start, we all know that. Now, in this explanation, we will come across sometimes structures that can be followed by a that clause. The that clause is very, very simple because it's very similar to Spanish. I propose that we record this class. It's just like in Spanish. Propongo que grabemos esta clase. Ningún problema, como en español.
I propose
that we record this class. But you can also say, I intend recording this class, or I intend to record this class. I plan... Funny, es que me suena mejor plan on. I plan on recording the class. I plan to record the class. So it doesn't really matter what kind of structure you use after these verbs. Attempt, begin, continue, intend, plan, propose, and start. But the situation is different with forget and remember. Forget, olvidarse. Remember, recordar. Son dos conceptos opuestos, ¿no? Pero siguen teniendo algo que ver con la memoria. Now, if after forget you have a long infinitive, like in this case, I had to phone the office, but I forgot to do it, you mean something that is different from I forgot calling or I forgot phoning to the office. Let's see the other examples with remember. They are easier. So with ing, the action refers to a past event. I don't remember learning to walk means that I learned to walk. Obviously, the action happened. It's just I don't remember. I don't see myself doing this. Okay? But if I say, I didn't remember to call my mother for her birthday, the action really didn't happen. I didn't remember to call her, so I didn't call her. And then again, we have the that clause. I remember that I had to pay the phone bill, which doesn't deserve any explanation because it's very, very simple. So again, remember or forget, followed by gerund, the action happened. I just don't remember it. Followed by infinitive, it didn't happen because I didn't do it. I forgot. Now, with try, there's an explanation in the book. I have another explanation. With this, with to, try to do something, we refer to something that we attempted, which might fail or succeed. Like, I tried to warn him, but it was too late. I tried, but maybe it didn't work. I always give the example with open the window. My head hurts, okay? Or my head hurts and there's too much noise in the room. So I tell you, try closing the window. What I'm doing is I try to do something that has an effect on my headache. Closing the window is my tool, is my me, es el medio por el que yo intento que se me pase el dolor de cabeza. Now, the window doesn't open. Try to open it. To try to open it means go and pull or push. Intentar abrirla, intenta abrirla, try to open it. La finalidad de try to open it es abrir la ventana.
Right? Opening. Without to.
With to, always with to.
With to.
Try to open the window.
To open.
Mi finalidad es que la ventana esté abierta. Pero si digo, try closing the window, o digamos, vamos a quedarnos en el mismo. Try opening the window so fresh air gets in. Mi finalidad es que entre aire fresco. Mi finalidad es otra. Por lo tanto, con to indico la finalidad del intento. Y con ing indico el medio, la herramienta, la manera de hacer una cosa. So, try taking an aspirin, you'll feel better. Lo que intento no es tragarme la aspirina, sino sentirme mejor. And there's also another situation with ing. This refers to making an experiment or trying new experience. Have you tried windsurfing? Como has probado esa experiencia. También lo usamos con verbo en ing. Okay. Go on means seguir. Now, the most common use of go on is followed by gerund, because this refers to continuing what you were doing. She went on working even though it was late. So she didn't stop when her workday finished. She just went on working. That's very simple. Now, if the verb is followed by to plus verb in infinitive, what we mean, the book says, with to, this refers to the continuation of a speech. The Prime Minister went on to praise the Chancellor. Pero lo explico yo de otra manera. ¿Qué pasa en esta frase? El ministro siguió alabando al canciller. El ministro siguió hablando, pero seguramente cambió de tema. Antes hablaba de la economía y luego fue a alabar a ese canciller. Pero no solo para continuar un discurso. Analyze this example. She began, when she turned 18, she started studying architecture, but then she went on to study medicine. Lo que pasa es que ella continuó estudiando, lo que pasa es que cambió de estudio, ¿vale? Cuando continuamos una acción, pero en una dirección distinta, esa acción distinta la indicamos con infinitivo largo, to plus verb. With the verb mean. Now, means significa significar, pero también mean significa tener intención de hacer algo. So, with to significa tener intención. Sorry, I meant to tell you about the party. Lo siento, tenía intención de contarte lo de la fiesta. But when mean is followed by gerund, this is translated as implica or significa. If we catch the early train, it will mean getting up at 6 o'clock. Si cogemos el primer tren, eso significa que nos tendremos que levantar a las 6. So, con to, intención, con ing, significar. Again, a that clause. This means that you have to report to the police station. No nos complicamos porque es que suena igual que en español. Another verb is regret. Regret means arrepentirse. Regret se parece un poco a remember y forget. ¿Os acordáis cuando con ing qué indicamos?
Past.
A past action. So if we jump to this example, I regret saying that to him. That means I said it and I'm sorry. But the action happened. Now, with to, there's only one situation that comes to my mind and is in the book. It's a very formal way to say something bad, to give bad news. We regret to inform you that your application has been unsuccessful. Sentimos informarle que. So it's a very, very formal way to say, hemos pasado de ti. We can hear that announcement at the airport, for example. We regret to inform you that your flight has been cancelled. So it's a very formal way of rejecting you. Stop. Again, stop is very similar to try, if you remember try. Now, I was telling you that with try, you indicate the purpose of the action. Try to open the window. My purpose is to open the window. The same goes for stop. Jane stopped to check the oil level in the engine. What was her purpose? To check the oil, indicated with long infinitive, to plus verb. And if stop is followed by a gerund, this is the classical meaning that we all know, that is cut the action, right? The baby has stopped waking up during the night now. That means the baby no longer wakes up during the night. Here, see, watch. I always have a conflict with the book in the case of these verbs. So, we have the explanation in the book. When followed by infinitive without to, the action is complete. We watched all the cars cross the finishing line, no tenemos to. And with ing, the action is still in progress. I had someone coming up the stairs. Realmente, más que pensar nosotros si la acción está completada o está en progreso, que nos va a obligar siempre a ver, voy a pensar en el contexto, más bien pensemos en la intención, porque de la misma manera tú puedes decir, we watched all the cars crossing the finishing line, and that means that the time is slowing down. You are describing. With ing, you are describing. I heard someone coming up the stairs es que estaba subiendo poco a poco. Pero si lo decimos en infinitivo corto, I heard someone come up the stairs, seguramente estaba corriendo, como que pasa muy rápido. Con simple, la acción es muy acelerada y con continuous es muy ralentizada, muy descriptiva. Nos fijamos en el proceso. Now, verbs with an object followed by either ing or infinitive with to. Aquí la situación se complica porque tenemos objeto, ¿no? El que hace la acción o el que sufre la acción. Admit, admitir. So, we have this example. They admitted to being members of the gang. Tenemos to y el verbo ing. Entonces no tenemos verbo en infinitivo, tenemos ing solo y le podemos poner to o no. Pero admitted está siempre seguido por gerundio, no tenemos la otra opción.
Admitted, siempre con gerundio, ¿no?
Es siempre gerundio, sí. With that, podemos poner el verbo como queramos. He admitted that he was wrong. I admit that I am wrong. Puedo poner el tiempo predicativo, el que me da la gana.
El tú puede ser suprimido en la primera opción.
Exacto, sí. Pero es que, ¿ves que es raro? Porque es to más gerundio. Allow, forbid, permit. Allow, permit are the same thing. Permitir, forbid, the opposite, prohibir, ¿no? Now, with an object and to, the school forbids students to smoke in the classrooms. I like to explain it a bit different. Now, if you indicate the object, you are more intrusive. Los estudiantes se dan por aludidos, ¿no? Vamos a mencionar a quién le prohibimos directamente. Entonces necesitamos usar to plus verb. But the school does not allow smoking. No decimos a quién, es más impersonal, más formal y va con ing. Es como que no tiene sujeto o simplemente no tiene objeto, no hay persona a quien se dirige, simplemente nos dirigimos a la acción. El fumar está prohibido. Does not allow smoking. Consider. If the verb consider is followed by infinitive, we refer to an opinion of someone. She is considered to be the finest pianist in her generation. Es considerada la mejor, the same as in Spanish. But sometimes consider means sopesar los pros y los contras, pensárselo. So in this case, at one point, I considered emigrating to Canada. That means I thought about it, I thought about all the advantages and disadvantages. So if I want to say, te considero la mejor profesora ya, ¿cómo lo dirías?
I consider you.
It's an opinion.
Yeah. I consider you. Pero ¿y ahora cómo meto el tú?
Así.
Tú.
Sí,
To
sí.
be the first teacher.
Yes.
The best teacher.
Thank you. I consider you to be lo que queramos. Sí, suena raro, ¿no? Porque
Sí.
you es el sujeto y tienes como la tendencia de poner un predicado, pero es así. I consider you to be. Okay. Imagine. Personally, I see no difference. with an object and to. I imagine the castle to be haunted. Exactamente como en consider you to be, I imagine the castle to be. But you can also use the object with ing. I couldn't imagine her living in a place like that. Sinceramente no veo la diferencia, no podría poner una regla. I couldn't imagine her living in a place like that. No me la puedo imaginar viviendo en un sitio así. Casi que usamos el ing cuando nos referimos a una acción que lleva tiempo, ¿no? Porque I see her living for a long time, right? But the castle is either haunted or not. The castle being haunted is an adjective, a feature of the castle, which is not submitted to the pass of time. Whereas her living in a place like that has happened for a period of time. The same way, Soraya felt it weird to say, I consider you to be. You can also use the subject followed by an ing. I couldn't imagine her living in a place like that. Now, if you don't mention her, I understand that you can't imagine yourself living in a place like that, right? I could imagine living in a place like that. It refers to me. Now, if I want to make sure that I refer to another person, I need to mention that person, and I can do that by mentioning the name. I couldn't imagine Mary living in a place like that. Or if I use the pronouns, they have to be object pronouns, not subject pronouns. I couldn't imagine him, not he, him living in a place like that. I couldn't imagine them, not they, living in a place like that. And with that, the same as in Spanish. Finally, require. Require is very similar to allow and forbid. If you remember, I was telling you that with allow, forbid.
It's very similar, sorry?
Allow, forbid,
Allow.
permit.
Okay. Forbid and permit.
With these verbs, the ing form was more polite and more impersonal, like in this case. These letters require typing. I'm not pointing to anyone. I'm not saying you should type them. The letters require typing. It's a kind of almost passive. In some grammar books call it passive. But if I use require plus an object plus to, I indicate the person that I want to do that action. They required him to fill out a form. So they told him to fill out a form. Whereas with the letters, I'm not saying anyone should do that. These letters require typing. Quien lo haga, pues no está indicado. Now, this is my favorite part of the book and your least favorite, because these are two lists that you will have to learn by heart. Os la tenéis que aprender de memoria porque no hay otra. Because whenever you come across them in your writing, for example, or in your speaking, they have to ring a bell. Okay? Os tienen que sonar que es así. Y mi truco es, vamos a ignorar que si se pueden seguir por that o no se pueden seguir porque no nos interesa. Lo que vamos a hacer es que la vamos a aprender de memoria siempre con to. Agree to, appear to, arrange to, attempt to, ask to, and so on. Si lo aprendéis así o lo decís unas cuantas veces, cuando vayáis a encontrarlo, os va a sonar. Esto tiene que ir con to. Anyway, let's see some verbs that you may not know. So, the first one. Arrange. What is to arrange? To arrange is organizar, hacer los preparativos de algo. We arranged To meet o quedar para. We arranged to meet tomorrow at 10. Quedamos en que nos veíamos a esa hora. Attempt lo hemos visto, intentar. Ask to no es preguntar, es pedir. I'm asking you to write this down. Choose to, lo sabemos. Dare to. To dare means two things. Atreverse y retar. I dare you to talk to him. Te reto. We know decide, demand, exigir. No demandar, exigir. I demand to know what this is all about. I demand to see your manager. Deserve to, merecer. Expect, esperar, pero no de sentarse y esperar a que pase el tiempo, sino tener ciertas expectativas, ¿no? Fail to, no conseguir, porque fail es fracasar. She failed to wake up at 8. That means she didn't wake up at 8. Grow.
No conseguir.
No conseguir, exacto. Grow, no grow up. Grow up es
Crecer.
crecer como, ¿no? De tamaño. Grow, normalmente, sin ser seguido de to o ing, es cultivar o criar. Pero grow to es llegar a, o sea, crecer como persona hasta el nivel de.
Llegar a ser o algo así.
For example, when I first came to Jaén, I didn't like it. When I first came to Jaén, I thought it was ugly and old. But I grew to like it. O sea, me fui ajustando y me llegó a gustar. Hasten, apresurarse. When I offered her the coffee, I asked her if she liked it, and she hastened to say it was perfect. O sea, se dio mucha prisa para decir con mucho entusiasmo. Happen. To happen means pasar. But, followed by to, it reveals a coincidence. Some books explain it, but I would say it's a false modesty. I'll give you an example. I happen to be the boss's wife. Da la casualidad que soy la mujer del jefe. Como estoy diciendo, bueno, esto es, no, tampoco para tenerlo tanto en cuenta, ¿no? Es falsa modestia. I happen to be the boss's wife. Hope to, tener esperanza. No esperar de tiempo, otra vez. Hurry to, the same as hasten to. Learn to, we know it. Long to. I long to meet him again, como que es que me muero de ganas. Sí.
Long to.
Es más informal que I look forward to. I look forward to seeing you again. Tengo muchas ganas de verte. I long to see you again. Se lo decimos a nuestro novio, a nuestro enamorado. Manage to, we know it, conseguir, ¿no? Apañársela para. Neglect to, olvidarse de, dejar en el olvido, pasar de. I had to talk to her, but I neglected to call her. Offer to, you know. Pay to. Pay is a verb that takes a lot of prepositions. A lot. Pay off, pay for, pay to. I paid to get a private class. He pagado para. Es que to, en general, to nos indica el propósito de una acción. Entonces, casi con todos los verbos indica el por qué de haber hecho esa acción. So I paid so that I could get that. Plan 2, easy. Pledge 2 is a bit complicated. It means to
What?
make
Plant. Plant 2.
pledge.
Ah, pledge.
Como hacer una promesa, comprometerse, prometer. Pledge 2. Pretend. Pretend is a very false friend. Remember the song of Queen, I'm the greatest pretender? No? ¿No sé cuál de Queen? To pretend means fingir. Y nada más. Fingir. Promise to, refuse to. Refuse to is
Rehusar.
rehusar, decir que no. Resolve to significa resolver, pero si va seguido de to es como tomar la decisión de. I resolved to get my driving license before I turn 50. I don't have a driving license yet, Soraya. Seek to es buscar, pero I seek to be the best teacher in the world. Eso significa no que voy buscando por ahí, sino que ese es mi propósito, ¿no? Eso es lo que hacia allá voy. Struggle, pasarlo mal, creo que lo hemos visto antes. No llegar, no dar la talla. She struggles to translate. That means she is translating, but very slowly, and she's looking for words. It's very difficult. Swear without to means decir palabrotas. With to means jurar, prometer. I swear to cherish you. Jurar, prometer. Threaten to.
Amenazar.
Amenazar. Vow to es lo mismo que swear to, prometer. In American movies, the bride and the groom, they write their vows, escriben su promesa, ¿no? Antes de la boda para decir ese discurso tan emocionante. Want to and wish to. Okay. Appear, so happen, and seem are only used impersonally with that clause. It appears that I've made a mistake. Parece que he hecho un error. And so it happens that he is my brother. It so happens that, es el mismo ejemplo que os decía yo, ¿no? Bueno, it so happens that he is my brother. In this case, it is the subject. But I can also say, I happen to be his sister. I happen, muy raro, ¿no? Yo paso, I happen. It seems that Mary is going to win. This is a more usual structure, ¿no? Parece que. Want can be used colloquially with ing and has a similar meaning to need. The car wants cleaning. No es que el coche quiere, sino que necesita ser limpiado. Again, I use ing, cleaning, and I don't mention who should do the action. You see, ing again indicates an impersonal, very formal way of saying that the action has to be done. Now, there's another list of verbs normally followed by ing. Mi consejo para esto, cuando lo aprendéis, que le pongáis el verbo genérico doing, para que otra vez nos suene. Appreciate, doing. Avoid, doing. Contemplate, doing. Delay, doing. Cuando lo vayáis a decir así y lo encontráis luego, os va a sonar el doing. Appreciate, we know it, right? estar agradecido, apreciar. Avoid, evitar. Contemplate, contemplar. Delay, posponer, retrasar. Deny, es decir que no ha pasado.
¿Negar o no?
Sí. Detest, tenemos la correspondencia en español, ¿no? Detestar. Dislike, again. Endure, aguantar. Enjoy, we know escape, we know excuse. Face,
Enfrentarse.
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 Fancy, followed by ing, means apetecerle. I don't fancy walking in the rain, no me apetece, no es lo mío. But you can also use fancy with a person, and that means you are in love or you have a crush on that person. A ver si voy a decir algo que se me va a quedar grabado. I fancy him, that means I have a crush on him, que me gusta, me mola. In Finnish, we know involve, we know mention, mind. I don't mind doing something means I'm okay with that thing. It doesn't bother me. You don't mind being recorded. No se importa que os grabe. I don't mind speaking to him. No me importa hablar con él. O sea, puedo hacerlo. Miss, echar de menos. Postpone, the same as in Spanish. Practice, the same. Resent, resentir, ¿lo tenemos en español? Resentir. Risk, arriesgar. Suggest, the same. With suggest, the same thing happens as with allow and forbid. You can mention suggest in an impersonal structure, like I suggest buying more computers, or I suggest you to practice more. With the object, I indicate who should do the action. I need an infinitive. If I'm speaking in an impersonal manner, I use ing. We suggest buying more computers. It's no good, it's no use. They mean the same, no vale la pena, no tiene sentido. Feel like is exactly the same as fancy, apetecerle. I don't feel like going out today, no me apetece salir hoy. Give up, we know it's one of the first phrasal verbs we learn. Abandonar, ¿no? Dejar de hacer algo. Keep on doing, seguir haciendo. Leave off doing is exactly the same as give up, dejar de hacer algo. Look forward to, the structure that we many times we see in formal letters. Tener muchas ganas de, o esperar a que pase algo.
Look forward to.
Look forward to. Tenemos to y el verbo ing. De hecho, esta última columna tiene muchas preposiciones, ¿no? Que la aprendemos así y el verbo ing. Put off doing is postpone. Can't stand doing, no aguantar. Can't stand es el opuesto a don't mind. No me importa, can't stand, estoy totalmente intolerante, ¿no?
Pero la traducción...
No aguanto. I can't stand listening to reggaeton. Spend time, waste time. What's the difference between spend and waste? Spend is good, waste is negative. I spent 3 hours yesterday studying English. Good. I wasted 3 hours on TikTok. Not good. Or I wasted 3 hours watching TikTok, right? Followed by ing. Now, appreciate can also be followed by a possessive. Vamos a ver. I appreciate you're trying to help. Agradezco que tú intentes ayudar, pero no tenemos you, sino you're trying to help, como tu acción de intentar ayudar. Y suggest nos manda grammar 16, pero es lo que os he explicado antes. Suggest si es impersonal ing, si es personal con la persona, plus infinitive. Involve has an impersonal subject. Being an athlete involves regular training. Yo aquí no lo veo impersonal subject porque tenemos dos INGs aquí. Being está en ING porque es sujeto de la frase. Being an athlete, that's the subject. Involves, again, training. Es que training también lo interpretamos como sustantivo, ¿no? The verb in ing is sometimes a noun. So, otra vez, sin mencionar quién debería de entrenar mucho, impersonal, le pongo el verbo en ing. Implica entrenar de manera regular, pero no le digo a quién. Now, verbs followed by infinitive without to, sin to. Pero help puede ser de las dos cosas. Help can be used with or without to. I helped George to carry the bags. Or I helped George carry the bags. I think that the version without to is more common. I helped George carry the bags. Make has a lot of collocations, many collocations, and there's always the dilemma between make and do. But today we're going to focus on the fact that make, when it means obligar, forzar, is followed by the verb, no infinitive. They made me leave. Me hicieron salir, me obligaron a irme. Pero luego la expresión we should have to make do significa apañarnos. Tendremos que apañarnos. You should have to make do. Hablaremos más de esto cuando lleguemos a nominalization. But the same structure, they made me leave. If I want to say it in passive, I need the to. I was made to leave. No puedo decir I was made leave. Y además que es la pasiva esa, que en B2 la hablamos, que era la pasiva incómoda, ¿no? Yo fui obligado a irme. Let, again, no to, infinitive. They didn't let me leave, not to. And let me go. They're very, very common. I'm sure you won't have any troubles. Verbs followed by an object and to. Otra vez lo añadimos a la lista. Lo podemos aprender como advise someone to. Assist someone to. Assist means ayudar. Ayudar. No asistir. Y attend means asistir y no atender. Beg someone to, implorar a alguien que. Bribe someone to, es una palabra que en mi vida no se me queda. Cuando das un dinero de manera ilegal para que te hagan un favor. Sobornar. Bribe someone to, sobornar a alguien para que. Command someone to, ordenar. Dare someone to, retar. I dare you to. Employ someone to, contratar a alguien. Enable someone to es darle la posibilidad de hacer algo a alguien. I need to give you a nickname to enable you to access Flipgrid, right? I make it possible for you to access Flipgrid. Encourage someone to, motivar, animar. Instruct someone to, we know that. Invite someone to. Lead someone to, guiar a alguien hacia un propósito. Order someone to, ordenar. Persuade someone to, persuadir. Select someone to, send someone to, teach someone to, tell someone to, train someone to, entrenarlo, prepararlo. Urge someone to, pedírselo de una manera urgente, casi obligar. Warn someone. Warn, tiene que ser warn someone to. Advertirle que tiene que hacer algo. Okay. Finally, dare can be used without to when there is no object. Compare. They dared him to jump. Le retaron a que saltara. I didn't dare say anything. Esta vez el sujeto soy yo. No me atreví a decir nada. How dare you speak like that to me? ¿Cómo te atreves? Okay, that's all. Now we're going to do the exercises, and I think this is over. Oh no.